Guys, welcome back. This is the big one. This is about Old Trafford on Sunday. The hunt for third place is on, and Dean Henderson is coming back thinking he's got something to prove. But this isn't about him. This is about Manchester United taking control of their season, taking control of third place. Let's break this down and get into it properly. While we're sitting here right now, it is 0-0 in the Wolves-Villa game, doing this preview. That is one hand on third place before anyone else needs to kick a ball on Sunday, okay? This is the big moment where we will get straight into the suspected lineup for Crystal Palace. It's a little bit hit and miss. They've got a few players out, but we're going to do things a little bit differently today. We all know that they have one key man who every time turns up at Old Trafford and becomes prime Peter Schmeichel. And I think it was probably, the first time in a long time when we beat them earlier this season, 2-1, that Henderson hadn't just pretty much staked why he should never have left Man United. So let's get this team news up. This is how I see Palace lining up on Sunday. So we're waiting for the second half of the press conferences. So all of this could change, okay? We know Palace love to favour the 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1, whichever way you want to look at it. But normally I zoom out on the old keepers, but let's be fair. This guy right here, he is a thorn in our bloody side since we let him go. I'm all for players leaving, but in the last 2 seasons, I can think of James Garner and Dean Henderson, who have been the two that have gone, you didn't want me? Well, I'll show you what you're missing out on. This guy is unreal. Obviously, we just call him the Mr. Baseball Cap. But right now, this is the kind of bumpy game that we have to get over the line. Okay, very, very important. So when we're soon back out. That's getting a little bit too comfortable having Henderson permanently there. Back three, it's something we probably didn't want. Now that Mike Gahey has gone over to Shitty on the other side of Manchester, their backline's it isn't what it was. When I used to look at it, Gahey and Anderson, now both are gone. I don't mind it too much. Obviously, their wing backs are quite phenomenal in Mitchell and Muniz. Muniz, if Amarin had stayed, I would have taken him all day as our replacement right wing back. I know all eyes are going to be on Mr. Walton right here, but let's not focus too much on him. I think he's actually fallen off the pace recently. Very, very talented young midfielder, moves the ball around well, good at interceptions. We know Will Hughes is going to be running around smashing into everyone he can. So Wharton's going to be more of the ball player. But really, that back line, we've got to get it at it. And I think, it's going to be no secret to anyone really that Cesco is going to start on Sunday. If Cesco doesn't start, I will be absolutely miffed. So we'll come to that in a bit. But Riyad, Richards, is it Convert? You have to let me know if there's a better way to break it down. At the back, I think if we can get Kuña, Bruno and Cesco going man for man on these guys and just pushing them back, keep running at them. Stay wide with the fullbacks, so the Muniz and Mitchell have to actually mark. I think we can pin these guys back. Mateta, obviously, you could say Mateta, you could say Strand Larsen. Not 100% sure. Danny's just said Lacroix is back. Just because he's back doesn't mean he's going to start. So we have to wait and see on that. That's what I've gone. I know they've got him back, but for that reason, I'm not sure if he's starting. Sarr and Pino, it's going to be a test for how we line up. So will Kobe Mainu do more of a marking jobby on Pino with, say, I don't know, Casemiro doing Sarr, or vice versa, but then that and just leaves the two centre backs to mark, or will we invert a fullback to pick up so we don't get overrun? It's a very tactical thing. It's another question on Carrick, different formation. This is where we can see midfield get overrun if we don't address it properly. I think Bruno's going to have to be so disciplined on Sunday. I think he's going to have to drop in and play more of a 8/10 than a 10/ an out and out 10 or out and out 9/10 and playing as a second striker. I think he's going to have to sit back more into that midfield and just to stop them from playing, or at least in a defensive formation. Maybe we play 4-5-1 instead of 4-4-2 is our defensive formation. And obviously Strand Larsen, Mateta is out, so Larsen will be up front. Highly, there was a few people looking at him. I think he's got a point to prove going till the end of the season now, and then he can maybe look for a move away. Let's be fair, it's Crystal Palace. They love to sell their own players. But no, let me know. Let me just have a quick look at the chat. Obviously, you saw me flashing up things. Yes, Mateta is out, Danny. And he started firstly. Europa League's Europa League. What it doesn't mean he'll necessarily start in the Premier League. It's a slower paced game. Personal opinion, but we'll wait and see. To be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if I get the away teams starting 11 up wrong, because I don't really care about them. At the end of the day, it's their formation that isn't going to change, even if their players do. So, Oliver Glasner is 3-4-3 through and through, and yeah. What more can we say about it? Is why we're a little bit worried about if we brought him in, right? We'd be going back to 3 at the back. So, Danny says Lecroix starts best centre back. Maybe, but it's about the pace of the Premier League compared to the pace of Europe for me. That's just that's why I've left him out. But apart from him, like you say, he could come in. I don't really worry about Palace. They're very disjointed at the moment. The manager is, I don't know, maybe the players feel a little bit let down. Maybe they wish some of them got a move. Walton's got to be looking for a move. Mitchell's been linked with teams. Muniz. I think Sarr could do better than Palace. I think he could go somewhere else. And obviously Strand Larsen. But obviously Eze went. Gahey's gone. Anderson's gone. The one I always forget the name that's at Bayern Munich. The other one. No, it's gone. It's gone. Doesn't matter. But I think that's the best we're going to do. I don't think we need to look at them anymore. Let's be fair. The one main person that frightens me when we talk about Palace is their goalkeeper. Just because how many times Elise? Thank you, chat. Thank you very much, Michael Elise. Henderson, like the amount of saves I've seen him pulling off, where you're just like, how? Like there's a magnet just going to him, and it's just sucking into him. But yeah, we've struggled. So that is my biggest fear. I think we could easily be banging on their door for the whole game, especially at Old Trafford, especially with the energy we're bringing there at the moment, with the crowd, with the songs. And at the end of the day, a 2:00 kickoff at home, you've had all the rest, you've had no travel, you've got no excuses not to be at your best. So I can see us banging on the door, and it's just, can we squeeze them past him? Sometimes when you're up against a keeper like Henderson, it's the mishit shot that beats him. You get one past him, we can get many, but it's just getting that first goal. But I don't know. come back to me in the comments afterwards if you think I'm overhyping Henderson. But I think we could put together one hell of a montage of saves that he's just made against us, let alone being one of the main reasons Palace won the FA Cup against City, even if he did handle the ball outside the box, before anyone brings that up. You know, going forward, what else? What else do they have to offer, really? I just feel like their players have dropped about 50% in energy levels, in that determination, and Palace are sort of in free fall at the moment. So, like I say, have your say. If you're a Palace fan watching this, please come back at me. Maybe I'm wrong, but have your say. But let's move it on swiftly onto the United lineup. Let's just get that one up on there. So, here we go. Click the wrong button. That's never going to get them up on the screen. There we go. Liven this up a bit. Obviously, Lemons in goal. Now, I put Martinez in. I did pick my lineup before I heard the press conference. Not going to lie, I had a very busy day. I listened to the press conference on the way home. I put my team together before I left work. Martinez wasn't spoken about in the press conference. He did say 1 to 2 weeks. He could be back. He might not be back. It was just sort of not spoken about from what I heard, unless I missed it. Every chance. So I would prefer to see Aiden Heaven in, personally. I don't think Euro worked last week. I think moving Maguire over to the left, putting Euro in on the right. I don't see the point in moving 2 players around. We've got a left-sided centre-back. Let's play the left-sided centre-back, okay? So, and what did Heaven do wrong? Nothing. So, unless it's a pace thing, that's the only thing. Obviously, we know Maguire's not going to have the pace, which is why I put Mazraoui in. I would say play Heaven. I don't know what the pace difference is between Heaven and Euro stats-wise, but I just think Aiden Heaven can play the line-breaking passes better from what I've seen of him when he was playing for the 21s. Obviously, Mazraoui in at right back. Now, this has got nothing to do with how I feel about Luke Shaw. This is purely tactical, where I thought that Mazraoui offers 3 things which I think are going to be super important this week. Now, let me zoom out a bit. You can see that I put Cesco in up front, which means I'm dropping Ahmad. Oh, something in my eye. Bear with me. Bear with me. Oh, there we go. I've taken Ahmad out to get Cesco in. It's not due to any of his performances, really. I just think it's the most logical choice because we don't have Dorgu. Now, if we had Dorgu, it would be harder to fit Cesco and Bumo and one other in the team, i.e. Kuña or Ahmad. That's my opinion. I don't know what anyone else thinks. But I think with Mazraoui offers more getting forward and back with a defensive mind than Dalot. Although Dalot has, he's got the engine, he gets up and down. I don't think he's got the brain. When you see him sprinting back, he reminds me a little bit like just a fitter version of Casemiro, like he's just going to chop someone down to stop them from scoring. So, yeah, I think Mazraoui just fits better for this kind of game. Right, well, let's just stop there because obviously we're going to talk a lot about this. Let's just get this up. Ahmad out for me too. Maz in for sure. Sure, not offering anything going forward. Well, that is an option, but I'm going to come on to Luke Shaw in about 2 seconds. So that's why I only popped that up there, Danny. So Mazraoui offers what he offers down the right. As Danny's just pointed out, Shaw's not really offering much down the left. But I think the main reason for that is when we were attacking, where Kuña sort of, let's get the old mouse cursor on him. If I was Kuña, he keeps getting dragged into sort of this area here, and Luke Shaw then has to do the entire left on his own. Means no break, so it's drift, and a full-on sprint. But when you drag over, and Bruno drags over towards Mbeumo, and basically we go all over to one side, like that, or like that. We're not holding the width. So there's no chance of an overlap, so we can't play down. So really, the player's got to go at full speed and beat the offside trap to play him in, which I'm all for. But in this game, as Danny's just said here, Shaw up against Sarr and Muniz, though. Exactly. You need to have a two-man discipline out wide. So again, you could, if Carrick thinks about it, and this is one for you guys to maybe think about before you respond. You could take Kuña out. You could put Mbeumo on the left, Ahmad on the right, because we know they will hold their width and be more disciplined than Kuña. And then you would be able to say, right, defensively, Mbeumo, I want you on Muniz. Ahmad, I want you on the other side. You stay with the wing backs. And then Sarr and that, if they push wide, they're picked up by the fullbacks. In the our final third, or our defensive third, we have a different outcome. Who takes who, depending where they are and where we break. Does Shaw jump onto Muniz every time he comes in to do the cross? Are we rotating? But Kuña showed that he defensively was a lot better in the last game. So he's doing the defensive side of things, which is basically that you're just telling him to go from where he is now in here. I need you here. Exactly in the centre of this little triangle here. You go, you just shut that off so they can't play the 1-2s, and then Shaw will take the widest player and you take the next. So the width is going to be key. Old Trafford, wide pitch. We all know the dimensions of Old Trafford. It is the maximum you can have in the Premier League. It's the same size as the original Wembley. And it's very important that we hold that width. That is why we've always been, wide attacking players at Man United, right? Because you can get the ball wide and you've got to keep dragging that team. They want to be narrow and compact. Well, if the ball goes wide, you can't be that. You've got to come out. And I spoke about it on Tuesday, how against a low block, which Palace will try and get back into a low block, we were throwing the ball in the box, but there was no Cesco to head it. You're trying to throw the ball into an Mbeumo who was giving away at least a foot to both centre-backs. So we should be able to utilise that more. And I want to see second and third man runs off of Cesco. So if he does get the flick, someone's picking it up. Even if it misses him out, we have one at the back post, one on the penalty spot, and one on the front post. Just old school football, but it's not old school. It's just common sense. Get someone there. I think Fernandes, Mainu, and Casemiro are going to have a very vital point in this game. Like I said, in theory, it's a 4-5-1, but we can play against Palace, who are playing a 3-5-1. Well, a 3-4-3, but it's 3-4-2-1. So they will outnumber us. And I know Mbeumo will do that defensive stuff. So I almost need Fernandes to drop in and Mbeumo to drop in and Kuña go up as a second striker. That's a way we could rotate. Okay. But I don't know how Carrick looks at it. He had 13 days, and I'm hoping over those days, although the players weren't training, I'm hoping they were looking at different formations or counters for the different formations they're coming up against, because the next 3 games is literally going to make or break our season, with Palace Sunday, Wednesday Newcastle, and then obviously the game after that is Aston Villa. And guys, right now, Wolves have just gone 1-0 up against Villa. So please do not jump off the stream to go find out. I am having the live scores coming through on my phone. But yes, as it stands, João Gomez has just scored for Wolves. So Like I said, right at the start of the show, that's one hand on third place. Now, let's kick on. Now, we need their energy to be like our energy. We're watching this. That's what we need. Okay, so let's get on to the rest of the team. So we know Mainoo, Casemiro and that are going to have to man mark their central three. I wonder if let's make this a little bit more tactical for us tonight. If I do this correctly, I haven't tried this before, so this is literally live. Let's get that one up as well. Can I get 3 screens on? I don't think it's going to let me. You're not going to let me. Nope. It's not going to let me, damn it. So all I was going to do is try and put the 2 up. So we've got Walton and Hughes. We've got our midfield 3, which we all know basically what my lineup is now. So I'll try and just have to talk it through. Let's do that. Let's put them there and this down here. So Walton, Hughes, Pino and Sarr. That's how I see it, because the wing backs I'm going to call more as defenders. So right now, the way we are likely to set up, we're going to be outnumbered by 1. Okay, so it's going to be 4-3-1, and if we had Martinez, I can imagine Martinez stepping forward and doubling up with, say, Casemiro and Mainoo press forward with Bruno onto the other 2. So that's going to be a real test of something we haven't seen from Carrick yet, you know. And let's be fair, it's not going to be on Carrick. This is going to be on the assistant manager and maybe even Johnny Evans or someone like that, or Woodgate, how they put it together. I know that I said about Kuña and Mbumo needing to stay wide, but we might need to go almost into a block midfield formation where we actually give them the width against us. We give the wing backs the width. We lock off centre midfield and we track our runners, so that if they do put the ball in the box, everyone's marked. So then we know the ball's only going to come from one angle. You push them outside. It's just something how I would personally approach the game. I don't know if Carrick will do that. But yeah, that's where it's going to be one or loss. 4-2-2-2. Yeah, almost like that, but it'll be more like a 4-3-2-1. But literally, you just give up all the width. So Danny's just put up here to go 4-2-2-2. It's a gamble. But, you know, we're at that point now where gambles need to be taken and gambles need to be paid off. So we will see. Do we not want to ask these kind of questions of Michael Carrick? You've got all of these channels going, Carrick should give Carrick a job at 6 games unbeaten. They're 6 games unbeaten. Yeah, great. Show us something else. What else have you got in your locker? What's plan B? What's plan C? What's plan D? Because we've had all these managers now who really have only ever had plan A. Ten Hag only had one plan, you know. And that went out the window after about 2 or 3 games when he went, I can't play the Ajax way here. You know, Amorim, less said about his lack of change, the better. So Fletcher, he came in, he played 4-3-3. Done okay. Carrick, definitely cooking something up at the moment. So let's see what he can do with a different formation or up against a different formation. Now, the big question on everyone's lips before this show started, before any of the previews have started tonight. I know there's a lot of previews on, so I do appreciate anyone who's watching this, because right now there's about 5 or 6 previews going on live. So if you are here, please hit the like, hit the subscribe. We are streaming out for the first time tonight live on X as well. So welcome to anyone who's watching over there. Please come over. If you're on X, please come over. Hit the like on YouTube. It just helps me get content out there further. Or just leave a comment on X what you thought, if you have any takes. As I'm saying that, one extra in the room. Boxing, good night. Well, I should say good night, because it always feels like you're coming on whereas I'm going to bed. But good evening to you, sir. Yes, so Cesco. We need to focus on Cesco for a bit here now. I think it's... I couldn't remember if I got this right, if it's Premier League or all games. But is it like 6 goals in his last 7 games or 5 goals in 6 games? I think it's just 1 game he hasn't scored in. So definitely under Carrick. He's definitely got 4. We all know that. This has to be the game he starts. If you want the guy to grow in confidence, he's come on, he's done something. He's scored different goals. He's scored, match winners. Now, what's that? He scored the winner and equaliser, to save us points. So everything that can give you confidence, like, yeah, look at me, I've done it. Basically, I'm the man kind of vibe, which he needs to be giving off. I think he's got that, and we now need to embrace it as a club and as fans. And I think the fans are 100% there. And now it's time for Carrick to show him that, yeah, go on, go get a hat trick. If you can get 1 off the bench, go get 3. I would like to, see the perfect hat trick from him. We know he's got a left foot. He scored with his right, and the guys apparently can jump up and headbutt an aeroplane. He can jump that high. Let's see him get an actual proper headed goal. Or worst case scenario, let's just see him battering Ram Henderson into the back of his goal if he don't score. Just go through him. Get a yellow card. I'll take that. That's a win for me. But it's getting him in that team. As I was saying, I'm going to take Ahmad out to fit into my team this week. But I am concerned. I am really concerned that it's a great position to be in, to have to gamble, to have to roll the dice, go, well, but lads, who do I take out? Everyone's performing. Kuña is performing. Mbeumo's performing. Cesco's performing. Ahmad, he's doing everything but the final third. He needs to get to that byline. I don't think there's anyone watching this going, we need more corners. We need to try and get the ball across the box. All of that. Boxing, you've just said it. I've already had the team up. I think Ahmad is a little bit need of rest, but we just had 13 days off. So I think it's a rest up here. It's not physical. It's a rest in the brain, where he has to be shown, look, do you know what? You've dropped off the last 2 weeks. Now come out, watch what else happens. Watch what someone else does. Bit like what's happened with Lenny Euro. It's definitely happening with Ugarte at the moment. These guys weren't getting their minutes. If Heaven comes in this week, then he needs to do the same. This is old school. This is, hey, you sit here, you're going to sit back, you're going to watch, and when you come back on, you're going to take that opportunity and you're going to take it all the way to the bank. You're going to get your goal, you're going to get your tackle, you're going to prevent a goal, whatever you need to do to help us win that game. And it's been a while since we've kind of had rotation. But yes, so I'm going to drop Mbeumo to the right and keep Kuña on the left because, as we're all aware, we have no left-sided players currently in the club, really. And put Cesco through the middle. I alluded to it. You can play Mbeumo on the left, play Ahmad, Cesco. I just feel that the gamble is, do we say defensively strong and change it last 10, 15, 20 minutes, i.e. last week, with the Cesco change with that great goal where we had the pace and we power and we come in. Can we do that against Palace? Maybe not. They got the extra centre back, but they won't throw into the box all of those players. But with Mbeumo, I'm more worried. We haven't seen him play that role for us yet, really, just staying as an out-and-out winger. He's done it sort of rotational out to the left, which is out of position for him. Although he's left-footed, again, he's not taking the ball to the byline to cross it. And that's what I think we're screaming out for. If you're going to put Cesco in, and this isn't about his height. No, I grew up with Peter Crouch. Yeah, Peter Crouch can't head for toffee, but he has superb feet. But you still try and put it on his head because someone's still going to try and jump and beat him in the air. And Cesco needs to do that. So you've got to get wide. You've got to get the corners in. We're the second best team in the league for set pieces. So getting the corners, get Harry Maguire up in the box and anyone else, and just make something happen. With Casemiro and Maguire on the pitch, both of them feels like they score like a header between them in like 1 in 3 games. So it's been a while. Let's get them in there. Let's just have a quick look, see what the chat's saying here. I've just seen a few messages. How much do you arrest? What we got here? Either way. Yeah, either way, I back Carrick as well, whoever starts. But it's about the starters showing the intensity. And I think we had it in the last show where someone said, Mbeumo looks done after 70 minutes. Because he runs so hard for 70 minutes, he's knackered. If you're starting and you need to run hard, and the terminology we use now, it's not about substitutes because you have 5. So now we have 5 subs. They're the finishers, and we could do that. We can put attacking players on, Lacey and Ahmad, Dorgu when he's back, to finish the game. Shore it up in midfield, put the extra defender on if we need to, and we're winning. But it is about having that finishing formation as well as what starts. And the most important thing, if you're running hard, let's get it over the line, get the job done. So what we got here, Ahmad is key in the big games when you need him to hold that ball, then recycle it. But if we're honest, he's not pulling teams apart with his forward runs. I think that's a very, very good point to make. His forward runs are being very predictable. We know it's left foot. We know he's looking for the cross. And he takes them on his right about 2 or 3 times in the game. But even when he cuts to that, we still know he's going to look to shift it quickly onto the left to play the pass. We had the same criticism of Anthony. I have the same criticism of most inverted wingers. When you need that right-footed ball across, driven across the box hard, it won't come. And if you're running back towards your goal and someone puts a ball in like that, it's always going to cause problems. Sure, if there's no overlap, that's probably why it affects Mbeumo on the left. But Shaw was overlapping with Dorgu. So it's Dorgu, whatever Dorgu was doing, the other players now aren't doing because it was happening under Dorgu. I know everyone sort of likes to have a dig at Shaw because I think he's in a way he's earned that by only playing half the matches he possibly could in 10 years. But one thing he doesn't always offer was an overlap. So if it's not happening, it's either tactical, as in come from the coaches. I don't want you overlapping, or if one goes, the other has to stay. And we all know who the right back is. He's popping up in the box as a central striker, so Shaw can't do the overlap because it's leaving us exposed. But yeah, with Dorgu on the pitch, he was definitely getting round the back and putting balls across. He almost scored from a pullback. He had another one the game before. I think maybe it was a West Ham game. He hit a rocket from outside the box where he on the overlap, played a couple of 1-2s and got a shot off. So he has been doing it. But in the last couple of games, you're right. But it's almost like he can't do it with Kuña because we don't know where Kuña is going to be. Bit like the criticism we normally have of Bruno. If Kuña starts on the left, we need the same performance defensively out of him that we got as Everton. Yes, that has to be every game, boxing. Every game, whoever's on that left, it doesn't have to be Kuña. It has to be the same every game, that level, you work back. Whatever you run forward, it's twice as hard back. Is what I tell my players. Like, I don't care how hard you're running forward, and if you're knackered, if we haven't got the ball, I need you back, stopping them from scoring. So you bust the gut, get back there. Ball goes out of play, have your breather then. Okay, but you are right. You are 100% right. We need to do that. Piana Walls is a good left back. I'll take him at United. His injury record's a little worrying, I think. I'd take Spinazzola as a left back, the former Italian, but he snapped his Achilles, so you've always got to keep one eye on that. If anyone remembers him doing that in the semi-final, was it semis or the quarter-finals of the Euros before we played him? Spinazzola was absolutely rapid. Good left foot delivery, great tackler, and a bit like a left-footed Kyle Walker. Could get himself, actually, I just said left-footed Kyle Walker and good tackler, but maybe not so much Kyle Walker, but apart from the pace. So yeah, that's the way I see it. But yeah, Cesco, what do you reckon? Do you think he starts? Have your say afterwards in the comments or over on X. Leave a comment on the live video, and let's just see. If I wouldn't be surprised if Carrick didn't change it, because as I say, he comes across as a manager that doesn't change a winning team. But let's move on. Sorry, got a little bit distracted there with the Bial and Diouf. I always think about Diouf as the former Liverpool striker. I think Cesco's going to start as well, boxing. Absolutely. Right, let's have a look. So I said we have to win this weekend, right? And there's reasons for that. So like I say, right now, Wolves are playing Villa. Now, if I obviously done a show Monday night, I think I mentioned it on our breakdown on Tuesday. Actually, before we go any further, I just want to, I don't know who's going to see this, but we broke a record for me on Tuesday. Tuesday's video reached over 200 views. I only have 116 followers on the channel. So for that to do that, we were obviously doing something right in our video because YouTube has pushed it out there. My tactical breakdown I done on Tactical Devils the night before, who have 1,500, well, I think it's 1.7 followers, only got 400 views. So really nice for us. But I really appreciate that. Now, that was because people were sharing, they were hitting the like button, they were commenting, getting in the chat. So there's 4 of you showing on the live viewers right now. I would love it if anyone came over and just hit the thumbs, but also have your say. And you can have your say on here. I am not a dictator. I never will be. I don't have to agree with you. You don't have to agree with me. We are going to have that good, honest pub talk, like you'll see with these guys. For always in here, Danny boxing, Trevor's normally here. They'll tell you I don't always agree with them, but I will definitely give my reasons why, and I expect them to do the same back. So yeah, let's move on. So the league table currently, I just need to get these up because I tried to do a quick snippet of them, and I thought I did, but maybe idiot here didn't save it. So here it is. That will do for me. Let's go full screen. Oh, go full screen, but put it on the wrong screen. Down there. Right, guys. Let's have a look at this. And there's 2 really important things for us to keep an eye on right now as Man United fans. Let's go like that. The other way around. Right, that's better. I will get used to some of this technical stuff and using multiple screens. Let's enlarge it. So right now, like I said, we have Wolves, Villa. Why has that got Chelsea next to it? Hey, look, even the real Premier League app goes wrong. Now, I think that's because I've pulled it and this game's already started, so that might be why. But forget the Chelsea logo here. I'm going to cover it up. Look, magic hand over the top. That's for Wolves. So as it's, you can see actually, as I did this, they were drawing at the time. Wolves still 1-0 up. I think we are just coming into last 5, 10, 15 minutes, depends on the added on time. Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, Leeds, Liverpool, West Ham, which is just behind my lovely face over here. Let's try. No, can't move me out of the way. They are all games that could go either way. I could quite easily see Arsenal, Chelsea being a draw, but certainly not a bore draw. I think that could be a 1-1, a 2-2, something like that. West Ham causing teams problems. I think they're the second most informed team in the league behind us. But they're certainly in the top 5 for form. I know that for a fact. Man City, Leeds. Well, let's be fair, that Leeds derby with Manchester is still just another War of the Roses. Man City are sort of just turning the gears now, trying to chase down Arsenal. They've been dangled that carrot of the extra game from those 2 back-to-back draws. And if they drop another thing, it could almost be over for Arsenal and City run them down. So, yeah, us against Palace, it's a have to win. You know, there is no bigger opportunity to take 3rd point from right now. Because when I say right now, I mean in the next 3 games. So Villa are dropping points now. We are, 3 points behind them. We win our game, we're level on points. I think we go above them by a +2 if they've conceded 1 now. So up into 3rd. We then play Newcastle. Okay, Newcastle could go either way. And then we've got, who's it last? Then we play Villa. So at that point, we can move above Villa, but Villa could also drop points again. And when I say above Villa, we'll already be above them just on goal difference, but then we go 3 points away. You've got Chelsea, Liverpool. They could overtake Villa as well at that point. And Villa go from 3rd all the way down to 6th or 7th. So what a way that could be on changing the league. And then then the next thing is we're hunting down City. I know that sounds mental to say, but if City do slip up against Leeds and Arsenal slip up against Chelsea, it is all possible. We've seen it happening this year. So yeah, it is really important. Sorry, I just get Wolves. Hold on. Yeah, everyone's just like Wolves. I can understand why people are sort of more than half watching this Wolves Aston Villa finish right now, because I'm sort of doing the same. Just hold on. I just see like Ollie Watkins or someone's name coming. Who's the one they got from Roma? Tammy Abraham. I was like, oh, just not one of them. Just not one of them. Or a screamer from outside or something. But right now, these games will shape our season. That's what I'm trying to get at. And if we can beat Villa, go 3 points ahead, Villa will, we say about bottle jobs from Arsenal, but to go from 3rd to 6th, that could decimate them as a club, because financially to drop out of Champions League places into Europa League again, I think they're already in danger of breaching FFP, or at least UEFA's version of FFP. So yeah, that is a big thing. But then on top of that, there's a few other bits. Champions League draws. So after we played Villa, there is another 2-week gap for the international. Oh, let's remove me. I'm being removed myself. after the Villa game, we got 2 weeks off. We got the England games. Well, just everyone's games. Maybe we see Harry Maguire called back up to England. You know, who knows? Maybe even Luke Shaw. You know, he's played every game, and we're talking about teams pushing for the Champions League, so should have the best players. Chat's going mental at the moment. I might have to catch up here before I mention about the Champions League games. Let's have a look. I think Wolves hold on. I think we can catch Wolves. We have played them at Old Trafford 2 boxing, right? Yes. I think it's Villa, isn't it? Yes. Not sure, pal. Villa home or away? We are at home against Villa. Yeah. Okay, so I'm all caught up. So yeah, the Champions League draw. So for those of you that have watched and seen the Champions League draw, I didn't really pay much attention for obvious reasons. We're not in it. Between the Champions League and Europa League, and what the potential ties could match up going into the latter stages, that can help shape up, give us a clear run, because Villa, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool will all be fighting and can all meet, well, not each other, but in general, the English clubs can line up against each other, which means they've got to go head to head in a more intense match from playing a Sporting or a Bodo Glyn or someone like that. I was going to say Inter, but you know, Bodo already tossed them out. When we come back from that international break, that is it. That is game time. That is, as Ferguson used to say, that's when you really stand up and be counted. Okay, but if I can't remember the exact lineup, so I'm going to go with this off the top of my head. Man City, Liverpool, and say Arsenal meet Tottenham or Chelsea in the Champions League. That's a hard-fought match in between other places where we can, again, they've got harder run-ins than what we have. We have Chelsea and Liverpool left to play in May, and we finish at Brighton. Okay, so if we get through April, we can start, you know, just pounding away at the points, picking up points here, because they're going to need to rotate players. They've got more chance of picking up injuries. That's really could shape the end to our season. And for me, that'd be absolutely perfect situation to be in. I was just trying to have a look at our complete running. Why I have it in front of me. I know half of it off the top of my head. So yeah, Sunday the 15th we play Villa. Surprised that's actually a 2 o'clock kickoff, but I think it's still being shown on Sky Sports. And then we play. Oh no, we do play March. It's after the Bournemouth game. Sorry guys, sorry, my mistake. We play on Sunday, then we play a Friday night match against Bournemouth, away at Bournemouth. So we'll take our 900 fans that we can get in there. And then it's the international break till the 11th. But when we come back from that, it is one hell of a run-in. We go Leeds, Chelsea, you know, technically derbies for us, the way United fans look at Chelsea, and we all know about Leeds. You know, that's probably, I don't know. You tell me. Which was the bigger derby? Man United, Liverpool, Man United, Leeds? There's a question to you all while I'm going through this. Then we go Brentford, Liverpool, Sunderland, Forest, so Sunderland should be mid-table and, you know, settling. Forest could be in a full-on relegation scrap as our penultimate game on the 17th of May, if that doesn't get moved. And then we finish at the last game of the season away at Brighton. You know, and I would love to see a load of you outside the ground. I will be there myself. You know, when we can film some fan reactions or something outside, if you are there. Yeah, boxing agrees. Forest will be tough. It could be really tough at that. But if they're already down boxing, it might not be. You know, it is going to be these last few games, like I say, after that international break. But when you look at, who is it? Someone's got to play nearly the entire top 6. So, yeah, we will see. Danny says Wolves should have scored. Hey, they don't need to score. They just need not to concede. That's all that matters right now. What are we in? 90-something minute? 90-something minute as we're going on. It's meant to be a preview, and it's become a watch-along. So really important. Right, this result is really going to change probably all of our energy going in. How do we feel about that? Because we finally jumped over that hurdle. Last week, we had a real problem breaking down the low block. I'm not going to go back over breaking down low blocks because I've done that in the last video. If you want to see that, please feel free, go back. After this show, I'll link it as one of the videos to go and click on. But we have had, I don't know, 5-6 chances to jump a spot this year, and we've not taken it. So now it has to be. It has to be every time it's there. Right, like right now, Villa lose, we have to take the next one. We have to then go, right, lads, who's going to play a low block against us? Leeds. Right. We need an answer to that. I don't care if it comes off hits both posts the crossbar and hits the goalkeeper in the head and goes in and we get a 1-0 win. We have to batter them and force that ball across the line one way or another. And we have to keep taking these chances when people slip up. But I still don't have that full confidence we can do that Sunday from here. I think we can win, but it's not a confident win. When you're at Old Trafford, Danny's just put it here. He's thinking 3-1, Bruno and a Cesco double. That'd be absolutely perfect, right? Well, we're not driving into the box. When was the last time we had a penalty? And that's because we're not taking anyone on and we're not getting shots off. All our shots have been clean finishes. So is that something else we can do? How do you guys feel? Do you think that because we're up against the teams that are going to be fighting for their lives, they'll come at us, so we should be all right? Or are you worried that they might be happy for a point against Man United and sit in and pick the points up maybe against other teams? Let me know. But as it stands, come on, that final whistle needs to go. I'm touching wood, but I'm going to say it's done. Wolves winning it 1-0. I think we are. You guys can let me know in the chat, but I'm pretty sure we are in 96, 97th minute, something like that now. And Wolves are just shutting up shop, bringing on the subs. Should be done and dusted. So let's move on from the Wolves game. We're going to say it's all over and done with, and we can finish off on our predictions. Danny's gone 3-1. What's everyone else saying? I'm thinking a solid 2-0 victory. And I'm going Cesco 1 and Harry Maguire 1. I think big old Harry's going to get one. So let me know. And all of you that are still in the chat, just either put it in the chat or put it in the comments afterwards. Come back at me. Are there any fears? Boxing's gone 2-0. Are there any fears about this game? Mateta being out makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. Strand Larsen offers them something different. Their back line, as Danny was saying, they might have their best centre back, but it's no Mark Gay. Night, Danny. I will catch you later. We will have to take all of our opportunities. I don't think there's going to be as many as we would hope. I hope I'm wrong. That's a lot of hope, and we all know it's the hope that kills you. So come back at me after the show, guys. We're going to wrap it up here. Let me know what you think. If there's scores, concerns. Do you think Heaven should start, or do you think Euro start? There's plenty of things you can say in the chat. Okay. Palace are struggling, and we need to capitalise on that. Like I say, right now we've got one hand on third. Palace dropping points tonight. We have to take 3 points. we are at Old Trafford. Stretford End's got to suck that ball in the net as many times as we can force it in there. And we walk away, 3rd points. And if we get that 3rd, I'm pretty sure we can hang on to it. And that's Champions League done and done, guys. That could mean new sleeve sponsor paying more money than they would have wanted. That's a new training kit sponsor for a European training kit. God knows what else. That could be an extra 100, 200 million in our transfer kitty for the summer. So it's been a great show, guys. I'm going to leave it there. You know, you can catch me on X. You can catch me on TikTok. Have a good weekend. I will be back Sunday night after the game. And about the same time, keep an eye on all the socials. I will say as and when we come out. And until then, all just dream of getting that second hand on the 3rd place and making it ours. Night.